I found out my manager at work gave away my promotion, and he's nothing more than a two-timing snake. So this is what I'm going to do to get him back. Oh yeah, and it involves his wife. I started working at a shipping company 3 years after my graduation from college. Those 3 years were heck on earth. Some of my professors promised to get me a stable job out of college, but the narrative changed after I graduated. No job could be found for me, and so I did anything I could to lay my hands upon one. I worked at a barbing salon in a ghetto area, but was fired after 3 months. I helped at a construction site, helped about 2 companies advertise products, but as a temporary staff. They just couldn't keep me because they didn't have enough resources to have several permanent staff members. Just when I was about to give up on searching for a job and going back to college to pick up a master's degree, I finally found a permanent job. I could remember that morning. I'd spoken to one of my professors that day. Before that, I was coming to campus to pick up a master's form. I felt that if I took my education just one step further, then I'd stand a better chance of getting a good and permanent job. I was just getting ready for the step out of my house and be on my way to campus when a friend called me that there was an interview I had to go to. I told him that my chances of getting a job there was quite slim, but he urged me to go nevertheless. So I went and, I got the job. My first year at the shipping company was quite brutal. The term brutal isn't right here, more like just really stressful. I spent extra hours at the office just so I could be on my boss's favorable side. I did all that I could to not get fired. More than that, I wanted a promotion so badly. I felt like I did more than any other staff member at the company that year, but I just did not get anywhere near it. The first time I went to the company for an interview, I was given a low-grade position. I informed the human resource officer that the position did not befit me because I had more skills to offer. However, I was told that if I put in more work the first year, that I'd get a promotion before the end of the year. The first year ended and there was still no promotion for me. I told my manager about it, and he said I had to keep on being patient and put in more effort to my work. I agreed and kept at it. The first and second year ended yet there, and still no promotion for me. At that point, I contemplated getting another job elsewhere, but my manager just urged me to stay. He said I should hold on a little longer, that I would be getting a promotion pretty soon. Well, I did wait. Even though I got an offer for a job elsewhere, I decided to stay back and had good faith that I'd be getting my promotion and a fat paycheck soon. In fact, my manager put me in another department, a somewhat larger department, but my paycheck still remained the same. He said that it was just temporary and soon enough I'd be getting an increase in my pay. He also said that wasn't exactly the department he wanted to place me in, that he just wanted to test my input in a different department before he actually gave me an official promotion, and I agreed. I kept at it and went to get on my 3rd year at the shipping company. I became really frustrated again. This time, I'd already written my resignation letter and was about to drop it at my manager's office when he finally told me I've gotten a promotion, an official one. I was excited and within the next month tried all my best to make sure I met up to expectations. However, at the end of the month, manager only added a few dollars to the morning that I've previously earned as a low-grade staff. I complained about it, and he said that the pay was available for the time and that hopefully the succeeding months would be better. Well, it never did. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So I have multiple updates for this story, but update number 1 might have a bombshell for you guys. It came out 6 months after the original post and 6 months after the manager called to give the promotion letter. Well, let's go ahead and see what's going on in update number 1. Hey guys, it's been 6 months since the manager called me to give my promotion letter and have promised a massive increasement in my salary. But I was yet to see anything except a few dollars he added to my salary. I was getting more confused and angry by the day. My friends have already advised me to leave the company and go seek employment somewhere else, even if it was a startup, but I was considering so many things. First, I've been in the company for almost 4 years now, and I've invested so much in it that I couldn't just pack my bags to leave. Secondly, this was my dream company, and if I could build my career for just a 4 more years, it would give me enough experience to start up my own, but again, I needed money. My siblings know I'm working in a reputable company, and they've always demanded so much, especially in their academics. I also need to save up to take care of any needs and to buy drugs for my mom, in addition to her checkup every month. It was just a lot, and really, I was really confused on what to do and how to really approach the matter, but something had to be done. I knew that. I then decided to confront my manager once again, and if he did not say what I wanted to hear for the last time, I decided I'm going to walk away and leave everything behind to start afresh because I couldn't just continue this way. I decided to wait to the closing period of the day when everyone had gone home to confront him. I waited in my small office till I thought everyone would have gone home, and when I assumed he will still be in his office, he had also left. How did I miss him? I was so vividly angry. He usually waited till everyone had gone before he left, but the secretary was still even around as I saw her come from the storeroom. "You haven't gone?" she asked, staring at me vehemently. "I thought you always left immediately the clock ticks home." "No." "You're right. I decided to stay. Actually, I was waiting for the manager, and I was surprised that he already left. He's usually the last person to leave, just wondering why he left early." "Oh, he said his son has a match, and he promised him he'll be there, so I guess that's why he left early." I see. Thank you," I said as I turned back to my office to pick my bag up and head for home. I could not stop thinking about what the secretary said. So, he really had a loving part to him where he could go ahead to watch his son play, and he'd been posting my promotion for years. And even when he eventually gave it, it was still the same thing. I just couldn't fathom it. There must be something he wasn't telling me, and I needed to find out what it was because my whole life depends on this promotion. Especially the money. So, it was best to know what's up. I left the office and went home, and I came much earlier than I normally would the following morning, hoping to catch him in his office since he comes early too. Luckily for me, his office door wasn't locked, and I knocked. I heard a reluctant, "Oh, come in." "Good morning, sir." "Oh, do you have a seat?" he said as a reply to my cheerful greeting. "So much for a good morning." I wanted to see you yesterday after closing, but your secretary said that you went to your kid's game." "Oh, yeah, I promised him I would come watch him. I didn't want to disappoint him." "I see. I actually came to discuss further about my work here." Immediately that I said that, I saw his countenance change. I knew he would not want to talk about it, but I needed to know where I stand once and for all.
"Oh, what about it?"
"Well, 6 months ago, you gave me the promotion, and you've been promising me for years, and even changed my office, but there's been an increase in pay. You've asked me to be patient, and in all fairness, I've been patient. In fact, my patience is overdue, but you haven't fulfilled your part of the bargain. And I just wanted us to come to a conclusion on what to do and what step to take next." Well, I watched his body language become reluctant. He started shifting uncontrollably, and then he looked up and said,
"Look, I know you've been working with us for a long time, and I know that you've put in a lot for this company. It's not the company, it's not willing to increase your pay, but the company has been having some financial issues. Although, I'm not really supposed to be telling you all these things, but the financial issues are so bad that the company's considering retrenching some staff, and I've just submitted the names to the CEO. Don't worry. Your name's not among because I know how much of an asset you are to us and how much you have endured for the company, so I can't allow such a disaster near you."
The news I was hearing from the manager sounded so shocking. Retrenching staffs? Oh my gosh. I didn't know how to react. Should I be happy the manager did not put my name up for the retrenching? Or should I still be unhappy with my current salary? This was some news, and I definitely was not expecting, and I was just so confused on how to react to it. It seemed as if he were reading my thoughts completely.
Listen, I know you weren't expecting this, Julien, but there's nothing we can do about your salary for now, and I hope you know you're not the only thing that this is affecting. It's affecting all the staff, me inclusive, so it's really just out of my hands. The only thing I can promise is that after the retrenching, it's possible the CEO considers the increment of the remaining staff. That's only what I can promise right now. To get jobs now is not easy, so I'd advise you to think about this deeply.
Promises. That's all I ever hear from this man, but he's right in a way. To get a job was not all that easy, and I needed to stick up to it, the one that I have, even if I wanted to be on a lookout for another. It's okay, sir. I'll hold on to the job, and I hope you stay true to your word for the increment once everything begins to fall back into place.
I will, Julien. Everything will be fine. You'll be duly compensated.
Well, I thanked him and stood up to leave. Update number 2, 2 weeks later. It's been 2 weeks since I went to discuss my work status with Mr. Sam, and those weeks have been the most confusing for me. Should I leave? Should I wait? I don't know. I spoke about this issue with my girlfriend Vivian and my best friend Derek. Vivian advised me to mount up to the boldness to leave and probably come to meet with her in Canada, where she believes could be a new possibility for me to start a new life. Derek, however, advised me to wait and watch how things unfold. He said that the situation might become favorable to me in no time. As much as the two options were tempting, I needed to figure out what works best for me. Vivian asking me to quit and explore other opportunities isn't a bad idea, but I couldn't leave my mom because of her health. She needed to be taken care of by me, especially since the twins are still in college, and I don't have so much to hire a caretaker for her. So that rules Vivian's options out for now. And for Derek, his idea feels safe for me, but to what end? What if everything doesn't get sorted out quickly? What'll happen to me next? I just need to figure it out, and one day, while speaking to one of my coworkers, he mentioned he would be traveling for the weekend, hence he asked his friends to cover up for him.
You work weekends?
I asked, trying to get some more information from him. Yeah, I'm actually surprised you don't. You're always laminating on how you need extra money, he said while readjusting his hat. I don't, but what if Mr. Sam finds out? Are you sure it's legal?
I'm pretty sure it is. We've signed to always be present during weekdays and in the company. Mr. Sam rarely calls us during the weekends, and when he does, I just find someone to cover my shift. It's really not that deep, dude.
The conversation just opened my eyes to another possible idea. I should have thought about it before. How come I never thought of it? I could look for a company to work for as a casual staff on weekends. That would earn me more money without actually quitting my current job. I decided to ask if there was any vacancy where he currently worked.
Oh, there isn't, Julien. I'm sorry, but you could just check in for some positions. Hopefully there could be some vacancies.
I was so happy about that thought. That meant I had hope for making more money. I went back to my office and put a call through to Vivian. She answered on the second ring. Babe, are you okay? You're calling me at work. Viv, I'm sorry, but I think I found a way out of this, I said with much excitement. Really? Are you coming to Canada? She also replied with excitement. I'm not. Oh, she replied as if her excitement had been cut short. Viv, we've been discussing this already. I can't leave work at this period. My mom and siblings need me here. And I don't? I know you do, but I need to figure out some things and put things into place. Then, when the twins finish and are back fully with Mom, I'll be able to relocate wherever. I know it's hard, but I really need you to understand. She said as she sighed. I understand you, but you know how I feel. It's not easy being here without you, she said. I know it's not. I promise everything will be fixed soon. Okay, but what if there is a way out then? Well, I've decided to work weekends. Really? That actually makes sense. Have you figured out where? No, not really. I just haven't asked around yet. Okay, but wait, do you remember Sandra, my friend? Yeah, I do. Who wouldn't remember that big mouth Sandra? I haven't forgotten her for the insulting me that one day. Well, listen, dummy, you need to forgive her because you might need her help. Her husband Bill has a company and has some openings right now for casual and weekend staff. I saw the ad a few days ago, and I think you'll be a good fit for the job.
Wow. Will you put in a good word for me?
Definitely. Sandra will convince her husband he's like a puppet in his hands. He's willingly oblige.
Guess I should forgive Sandra anyways, right?
You should. I'll call you later to check how it goes. I have to go. Bye. Love you.
Love you too, as I said, cut the call.
It seemed good. I was looking forward to Viv's call, and I hope it went well for all that it's worth. Update number 3. It's been a month that I've resumed the B to O as a weekend staff. When Viv called me back that Sandra said to send my CV, I was happy I was going to be considered, and I got a congratulatory mail from Bill himself. The thought of making more money was everything to me because that was my priority then. The first day I resumed there, it was surreal. The environment, the staff, and the pay, most importantly. When I heard my salary, I was in awe. It was almost up to my salary in the company where I fully worked, so it was unbelievable. I would honestly say that I loved working there than my present company, and I always looked forward to going there. And I've even managed to make a friend, Joe. He works for an auditing company and was also looking for ways to make some more money so he can pay off his student loans. We often discuss about so many things, and one of those days, we were discussing about our bosses. I wouldn't say I normally discuss about my boss to someone I just met a month ago, but we shared a kindred spirit, and for some reason, it did not sound like gossiping. It actually sounded right. Assuming Mr. Sam had given me the promotion when he ought to and increased my pay, I wouldn't have needed the extra job, you know?
Yeah, I get that, bud. Did you say Mr. Sam?
Yeah, do you know him?
Julian, there's a lot of people bearing Sam, but what does he look like?
Short, clean-shaven. He often puts a blue pin in the corner of his mouth.
He slightly staggers while walking.
Oh yeah, that's him, Mr. Sam. How do you know him? I asked, surprised.
Well, I've known him for a long time. He used to be my older brother's friend in school before he died. It's a complicated story, but I knew they stopped being friends before his death.
Oh, I'm sorry about your brother.
Oh, it's fine. It's been a while, but I think I remember what caused their quarrel.
I would love to hear it.
Well, back then in high school, my brother and his friend, Mr. Sam, inclusive, decided to contribute some money to doing something for school. I can't remember the details, but I knew it was very important, because my brother and his friends were always coming to our house to hold the meeting. I thought it had to do with the football team, because my brother was the captain then. When the time for account of the money was near, they couldn't find Mr. Sam, who was the one of the money being paid to. They started searching for him in his parents' home to everywhere, and he usually visits, but he wasn't anywhere to be found. His parents claim they've also haven't seen him since he dropped a note for them telling them that he had to go somewhere for a while. It took a while to find him, but they eventually did, and like I said, I can't remember the exact details because it was still then, but I remember he was arrested by his friends demanding the money from them after claiming he was robbed. He eventually confessed that he spent the money because he wanted to have a bit of fun, and he was sorry. To my memory, I think my brother wanted to let go, but the others demanded he repaid them all the money, or he'll be charged for court of theft. His parents had to raise the money for my brother and his friends. Eventually, after he was bailed out, my brother cut ties with him and told him to never show his face in front of him again. It was a really terrible because, well, they were friends, but my brother said he could not be friends with a thief.
Wow, that's quite terrible. How could he do that to his own friends? Why couldn't he just tell them he needed money if it was for a genuine reason?
Oh yeah, that's the point. He didn't have any good reason for it, he just did it. He's simply a thief.
The conversation I had with Bryce changed all the narrative about him. He was a thief. He used to be a thief. How then did he get employed as a manager at the company? And if he's been called once to be a thief, has he changed totally? He also told me some members of staff would be retrenched, and that had not happened. Could he be a liar too? I had so much to find out, I needed to unravel it. Update number 4 1 week later. Well, it's been a week since I started the investigation of Mr. Sam. So far, I've not really found anything useful. Nobody seemed to really know much about him except the fact that he was a family friend to the CEO. And that explained why he was employed despite his past record. He must have showed the CEO he was genuine for him to climb this up. It was almost unbelievable. I needed to find out what was going on, and I needed to do it discreetly without anyone suspecting. I knew the CEO had been out the country for a while. Information from people said he was building another branch of the company and he needed to monitor it.
So I tried to get his number from the secretary, and even though I told her it was for official purpose, I eventually got it. I called him immediately, and I got home that day. His number went straight to voicemail. I tried it several times, but it kept going straight to voicemail. I went to my mom to give her drugs, then I went to bed. I was awoken by my phone ringing. It was an international number, and I picked it up.
Oh, hello, who is this?
I asked, half asleep. Hey, you left a message for me telling me to return your call. This is Mr. Benjamin. I jerked off totally from sleep. Hi, Mr. Ben. This is Julien Idrian. I'm a member of your staff. Oh, Julien, I think I remember you now. What can I do for you? Oh, I actually need to see you, sir. I needed to discuss something very important with you. I know you're out of the country, but it's quite urgent. I won't be in the country till the next 2 months. I'm still quite busy here with the construction of the new company, as you must have heard about. So it's better just to discuss it here and now. This was my chance to ask, and I hadn't prepared to ask over the phone, but it was now or never. I needed to do it now. Mr. Ben, I'm having some concerns about the company. Mr. Sam doesn't know about this because I wanted to be discreet. I know Mr. Sam said you wanted to retrench some members of the staff because...
Wait, retrench?
Mr. Ben almost shouted over the phone. Yes, sir. He said you were aware. Are you not?
I'm not aware. Why would he say such? Did he tell you why?
Yes, sir. He said the company is in some financial crisis of some sort, and that's why you haven't promoted me in a while and increased my salary, and the remaining members of staff either.
Really? I've increased the salary of my staff twice in the past 3 years. Are you sure about this?
Yes, sir. I'm definitely sure.
Then I need to call him and ask him.
No, sir, wait. This man has deceived people and humiliated you, sir. We need to find a way, sir. I have a plan. And then I went ahead and told him my plan. This man must be humiliated, and I decided to see to it. What's up, everybody? Mr. Redito here. So update number 5 is a juicy one. It came out 5 days after the phone call to Mr. Benjamin. Let's go ahead and jump into update number 5. Here it is. It's been 5 days that I set my plan to motion. I've decided to humiliate him in the worst way possible. Just confronting him would simply not be enough, so I needed to find out for sure what he's been doing with the money he's been embezzling. He must be squandering it somehow or somewhere, and judging from his past record, he could have used it to have a bit of fun. I was just wondering how. I decided to find out. My friend Bryce was involved in hacking and tapping of the phones, and as much as I detested it, I needed his help to tap his phone. I needed to know who he was speaking to. Probably there was a woman involved. There's always a woman involved. It was quite difficult to do, but my friend successfully hacked his phone, being the good hacker that he was. We could see his contacts, phone logs, incoming and outgoing calls from Bryce's system. I told Bryce to give me an update if there's any drastic changes. Well, he called me one day at home, and there was an update. I rushed off into my car to meet him at the house. Bryce, what did you see? I asked as soon as I entered the room. There was a regular call to another number he saved as Gina. I've been listening to their conversations, buddy, and it seems they're going for a vacation to Hawaii next week. This Gina must be invested, and he's spending the money on. Brycey boy, can you send these phone conversations to my cellular? I need to see his wife. I said, giving my phone to Bryce, and he said, Are you sure about this? Oh, I'm sure. I need to humiliate this beast of a man. Okay, he said, and sent the conversation straight to my phone. The first stage of the plan has been completed, and I figured I need to see his wife next. Not in their home, that's for sure. I'm aware she had a fashion store somewhere. I needed to find out from the secretary. So I met with the secretary, and she told me where her fashion store was located. She said she closes late evenings, and I decided to put a stop to her at store after work. The store was easier to locate than I first expected. As a matter of fact, I'd passed there several times before, but I never knew the store belonged to Mr. Sam's wife. Well, it was about to be a show. I stepped into the office, and the receptionist attended to me. I told her I wasn't there to purchase anything and insisted on seeing the CEO.
She asked if I had an appointment, and I said no. She then rang and told her someone was here to see her. She asked me to come in. As I stepped inside her office, I began to fidget, if really this was the right thing to do. This could end a marriage, but the woman looked too good to be cheated on. She needed to know. I introduced myself, and I told her the reason I was there. She did not believe at first and told me it was all a lie. I asked her if she knew her husband was traveling the following week, and she affirmed, and said that he told her he was traveling for work. This was the point where I brought out my phone to make her listen to the phone calls between her and his mistress, Gina. She was dumbfounded for a minute, then tears started streaming down her eyes. I felt somehow guilty, but that was not going to back down now. She stood up and picked up her keys and wanted to confront him. I stopped her and made her sit down. If you confront him now, he could still deny it. It's better to catch him red-handed. Well, she agreed and accepted to play along and play it cool to the day he planned to leave for Hawaii with his mistress. All right, everybody, Mr. Reddito here. The moment you've all been waiting on. The final update of the story. It was 6 days since OP met with Mr. Sam's wife, and here's the final update. D-Day. The D-Day had come and all plans have been set in motion. I told Mr. Sam's wife to leave as soon as her husband leaves the home and gently follow him from a distance, and wherever he stops, she should call me and come to meet her there. I called in sick at the office to enable my execution of the mission. I sat by the door with my phone in hand, expecting the call. It took forever, and I was almost running out of patience when there it was, that beautiful phone ring. It was Joy, Mr. Sam's wife. She called to describe the street where he parked his car and said, "Hurry, I'm parked at a distance." I jumped into my car and zoomed off to meet her where she said she parked. After 10 minutes of driving, I sighted Mr. Joy's car beside a donut shop, so I parked beside her. "What took you so long? I've been waiting forever," she asked as she alighted from the car. "He's in that blue house," I asked in return with a question. "Yes, he entered about 15 minutes ago, I think. I wonder what they're up to. Let's go." So we both walked up to the house. We peeped from the window, and there they were, holding hands and kissing. Miss Joy barged into the room and held his clothes. There was a lot of shouting, screaming, and beating. It was a whole disaster of a mess that almost everyone in the neighborhood came to the house and tried to settle the fight. Well, long story short, 3 weeks later, the CEO came into the company to fix everything that's gone wrong. Most importantly, firing Mr. Sam and arresting him for embezzling his funds. The case was a long one, but amidst the issues, I found a permanent work position in B&O, where I worked weekends. The last time I saw Miss Joy, she said she's working on a divorce. I didn't blame her. The marriage was already dead. The story of Mr. Sam's affair is still being said to this day. Wow. All I can say is wow. Imagine all this time OP, aka Julien, was this hard-working individual, putting his sweat, blood, and tears in for a company that's promising him the world. All he has to do is be patient and wait for that everlasting promotion. Well, joke's on him, because it turns out his boss was greedy, a snake, toxic, a liar, and an evil individual who was spending all their money that was supposed to go to OP for the promotion and other countless co-workers, spending it on his mistress without his wife ever knowing. I'm so glad that this boss got what came to him when OP contacted the higher-ups. Guys, if you've ever been in a similar situation like this, not the exact same story, but maybe problems at work with your boss, they get caught for doing something, whatever it is, drop your comments down below. I love reading similar situation stories, and let's talk about it in the comment section. My name's Mr. Reddito. If you're new here, I have stories every single day of some of the most dramatic, binge soap opera worthy stories. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.